I got my start in a very interesting way. I was attending the Fashion Institute in Los Angeles, and I had a friend. He worked at a record label. His name was Todd Rousseau, and Todd said, "You're always fly. I love your style. I want you to work with our group 702." So he kind of wanted me to somewhat mentor them and style them. So that went from everything, to suggesting hairstyles to suggesting that they get their brows waxed for the first time. Being an image consultant is also different than being just a stylist where you handle clothes. I kind of look at my clients from head to toe, and I will make an assessment of what they need based on what it is they're trying to convey. My top 3 tips that I would give someone, I'd first say is to stay very professional. When you're on the job, your client isn't your homie. Mind your business, stay in your clothing rack. You don't want to be in there trying to be their friend, because when they get in their car and they're riding home, they'll say, "She talks too much." So you really want to stay focused on why you're there. Even if they're trying to engage you, please use minimal words. You're not there to be their friends. Tip 2, punctuality. It was something that I struggled with because I always was trying to get that last special item. I always thought that I could get one more thing if I went to one more store or showroom. Third tip I would give would be to be original. Don't always follow the trends that are out because they may not fit your client. They may not fit you. You have to go with what works for your body type, what works for your complexion, and you want to come up with things that may be off the beaten path and set trends as opposed to following them. When I look back on looks that I've done in the past, and I think of favorites, it would have had to be one of Lauryn Hill's Grammy looks. I loved her Barbara Bowie look that she wore on stage when she was doing Zion. But more recently, it was work I did with Usher. We did the Here I Stand album packaging. And I to this day, I think that is timeless and relevant. I think that that's one important thing about being a stylist. You have to do looks that people won't look back at and say, "Oh my God, remember I wore those pants?" You want to stay as classic and timeless as possible. One more look that I really loved was for Jay-Z's Black album, when he did the movie of it. There was a jacket that I made for him. It was a custom jacket with embroidery on it. I love that to this day. I think, again, that's timeless. It's rock star status. I'm working on a line called Nerdy Angel. It's a kid's line, and I really think that there's a void in our fashion world for boys, and that is what birthed the brand Nerdy Angel. And it's all inspired by my son, Kyle. The Kyle's World Foundation is something that I started in honor of my son, Kyle Glover. Kyle was a very precocious child who loved art. He loved to draw and paint. His artwork is all over my office. He was drawing ever since he was about 4 years old, and he created music. Like, I have tracks that he started making the beats on his computer. So there were so many children that I realized that don't have the same access to the things that Kyle did. And I feel that the arts is the first thing that is always removed out of schools when they do budget cuts. They cut out the art programs. And I feel like they're so important as an outlet for a lot of children. So what the goal of Kyle's World is to keep the arts alive, in children's lives. And eventually we'd like to open a school. I'm really very happy with everything that's going on with Kyle's World. Of course, I could always use more support, donations. It's very hard, keeping it afloat. I'm doing a lot of it on my own, to staff our office and to just keep the phones and the literature going out all the time. It becomes quite costly, but it's, there's hard work and there's heart's work. And for me, Kyle's World is heart's work. I'm really excited, and I feel closer to our goals. We do a summer camp every year for the kids, and it's just been going really wonderfully. I'm happy.